I have closed over 700 deals and made over $1.6 million in real estate. In this video, I'm going to teach you my one sales skill that separates the top 1% from everybody else. And it's so powerful that I've never even taught this before.
You make a lot of money?
Yeah, I do all right for myself.
How much money you make?
70,000 last month.
I'm going to cover the principle of reframing and the 6 rules to use it ethically. What's reframing? Just a fancy word for thinking differently, considering new ways of doing things, or challenging the orthodox. These rules, if used correctly, will help you close more deals than 99% of the population. That's because I use them every day, and it's a huge reason why I make over $500,000 a year. Have you ever heard the saying, the riches are in the niches? Well, this might be the single best piece of advice you ever hear in your entire career as a real estate agent. If you're not closing at least a dozen deals a month right now, this could be a huge reason why. You need to master one niche only in real estate. So let me break this down on why you're wasting your time and potential if you're not already doing this. First, what's a niche? Each lead generation method is a different niche. So for example, doing my rental strategy where I make over $500,000 a year, that's considered a niche, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Doing an open house strategy is a niche. Farming and sending out mailers, that's another niche. So pick only one of those niches and just focus on that. And it's okay to test out a few before committing. But once you find the one that you enjoy the most, that makes the most sense in this market, put all of your time and effort in that and forget the rest. So to find the one that makes the most sense, think about what market that you're currently in, and then lean into that lead generation strategy that's gonna generate you the most amount of leads. Is it a seller's market? If it is, then FSBOs and open houses will work great. Is it a buyer's market? Then a service like Zillow Premier, that's gonna work incredible. Is it a renter's market? Then my any broker advertise strategy like the one I do will work great too. And if you wanna learn more about my rental strategy that has me making over $40,000 a month, click on the link in the description and it'll take you to my website, richardrantals.com. Being a jack of all trades and a master of none is never gonna work in real estate if you wanna succeed at the highest level. You wanna get so good at just one niche that every agent around you seems like a complete amateur. You'll become the go-to agent in your area. Your sales volume will explode because you'll become the expert in that particular niche.
My killers who will not take no for an answer. Will not hang up the phone until their client either buys or fucking dies!
You'll have so much knowledge and build up so much experience that every lead that comes to you will be like putty in your hands. And that's the ultimate goal. We want to help as many people as we possibly can, which in turn leads to closing more deals and ultimately cashing more commission checks. But this will mean absolutely nothing if you don't follow the next rule, which is learning how to communicate. You may think you know how to communicate with people, but do you? Communication is such an underlooked part of sales. It's a big reason why you aren't closing over a dozen deals a month right now, because other top agents in your area, they've already learned this. How is your tone when you're talking to leads? Are you monotone and bland? Or are you full of life and energy? This is a massive reason why you're not converting leads, because you're lacking proper communication skills. Real estate is sales. Plain and simple. So act like a salesman without sounding like one. Nobody wants to be sold anything, so you have to make them come to the conclusion on their own. Your job is to guide them down the right path. So you need to ask the right questions to get the answer that you want to hear, which is ultimately them deciding to work with you and find the house that they love. Forget selling the actual property. Instead, sell yourself and sell the promise of them finding the dream house that they want. As an example, here's an easy way to tell how good you are communicating with the lead. First, you want to start recording yourself on these types of phone calls. Play it back and see how you did. Are you sitting in your chair like a zombie with a very unappealing tone? Or are you up walking around, talking with your hands, very energetic and positive? Are you showing passion and enthusiasm? If you don't love what you do, you've already lost half the battle, and I promise you it's gonna show in your conversations. If you wouldn't want to work with yourself, neither will the lead that is deciding if they want to work with you or not, because they have a choice between millions of agents out there. You want to become a better version of yourself, someone that is more confident, more knowledgeable, and passionate about what they do. If you want to take this even further, pick up a book on communication. I promise it'll be well worth your time. And if you need some suggestions, let me know in the comments below, because I have some incredible books that really helped me out. But if you only try these 2 sales rules, it's not going to get you the results that you want. You also need to implement this 3rd rule. Work harder. I'm sure you heard the phrase before, work smart, not hard. Well, that is total baloney.
Work smart, not hard.
The reality is, if you want to be in the top 1% and earn over $500,000 a year, then you need to do both. Answer this question honestly. Are you turning your phone off at 5 o'clock at night? Are you taking off weekends? If you are, then you've already lost. There are agents out there like me who work around the clock. Someone that's a great communicator, has mastered one niche, and is working twice as hard as you are. What makes you think that you have any chance against someone like that? You don't. That's why you need to learn how to work harder. Yes, this is something that you can improve upon. I used to stop working the second the clock hit 5 o'clock. I would ignore all my leads on Saturday and Sunday. And guess what? I was only making $80,000 a year because of it. Yeah, that was okay, but I wanted something more than just okay. I wanted to be great and earn more than 99% of the average person out there. Real estate is a 24/7 career. It's not a normal 9 to 5 job that you can simply clock out of. Once you realize that, I promise things are gonna start going in your favor. Do the things that other people are not willing to do. That's what got me from doing only 50 deals a month to 170 deals the next year to 250 deals the year after that. Because I started to work harder and smarter. Which brings me to my next sales rule: work smarter. If you're not always thinking, is there a better way to do this? Then you're always gonna be one step behind the person that is. We talked about working harder, but what about working smarter? That is a deadly combo when you combine the two. You're gonna have such a massive advantage over just about every single agent that you're competing against. And do remember, this is a competition. You're trying to get the most leads, the most clients, and close the most deals, which is gonna make you more money.
Subtotal. No. $283,107.65.
Have you created a system around the niche that you chose? If you haven't, now would be a great time to start. I'll give you an example of the system that I created in my rental niche, and I mastered that a few years ago. So I realized I was getting a ton of leads every single day, but I didn't have the time to respond to them all. I would sometimes take 2 weeks to get back to them, and by then it was already too late. They had already started working with somebody else. I didn't like that. So I got smart. I created a system around getting back to leads, which was way faster than it was before. So most of the leads asked the same thing on the initial reach out. So what did I do? I created a template where I came up with a predetermined response that I could use depending on the most common thing a lead would ask me. I then took those top 10 scripts and put them in a Word document. Over the months, I tested out different variations of each of these until I found the right set of words in the right order that would get me the highest conversion rate. Then I put all of these in my phone and my laptop's clipboard so I can rapid fire out responses lightning fast. Because of this, I can now respond to 200 leads in 30 minutes. Whereas before, I was so overwhelmed that it would take me hours just to get back to them, and sometimes not at all. This was a big reason why I was able to start closing 30 deals a month. And if you want all of my actual responses and scripts, I create a program just to teach my rental strategy, so check out the link in the description. It's richardrantals.com. I became more efficient, so I started shaving off precious seconds for every task that I was doing, which added up to me saving hours per day. I started closing more deals, and you guessed it, making more money. But that wasn't everything I did to consistently start making over $1,400 a day. Because if you don't learn rule number 4, then everything that I just explained will be for nothing. Follow-ups. Yes, something so simple as a follow-up will literally add 30% or more to your business. Life gets in the way, so most people are gonna forget to respond to you. Don't take it personal. Instead, just follow up. I've heard you can follow up as much as 7 times, but personally, I like to follow up 2 to 3 times because I don't wanna come across as annoying. I just wanna get my point across that I am here to help them out if they need it. And I create a system around this because remember we were just talking about working smarter? Well, it should be applied here as well. I'll give you an example. So every 24 hours, I go back through my previous day's text message and I just respond to the last thing that was said. And that's also where your standard clipboard responses will come in handy as well. You see, you don't need to sit there and write a custom response for every single person. Say a lead reached out to you and you didn't have the time to call them back and you responded yesterday, but you never got a response from them. Don't panic. Instead, reach back out to them 24 hours later with a simple message. Hey, it's Andy Coleman again. I'm just following up to see if you still needed help. Something super basic. You don't want to send them a giant block of text that they don't have the time or patience to read. Hey, just checking in. Did you happen to see my last message? Simple and easy phrases like that are all you need to get the conversation going again. It's a quick copy and paste that is going to make you so much more money in the long run because these clients and these leads are going to appreciate that you're actually thinking about them and following up. It shows that you're putting in extra time and effort, and it shows that you care. And I'm telling you, people notice this kind of stuff. You're going to be doing something that the majority of other agents totally ignore. And because of that, naturally these leads and clients will stay more loyal to you and you're gonna end up closing more deals. But if you made it this far in the video, I really want you to listen to the last rule that I'm gonna tell you, because succeeding at the highest level is all about your ability to solve a problem. Which brings me to my last and final rule: problem solve. I don't care what business you're in or what you're doing in life, you will run into a problem just about every single day. If you're not, then you definitely did not implement the first 5 rules that I gave you correctly. By this point, you should have so much business coming in that problems become inevitable. And this is where you get to prove yourself. I've always loved the saying, yes, please give me another. Meaning when a problem arises, you get the opportunity to solve it and prove to yourself that you're capable of doing anything. That's what success is all about. It's about learning, growing, and challenging yourself on a daily basis. I used to get so upset every time I had an issue with a business deal that I was working on, especially if I wasn't able to actually solve the problem. And yeah, that does happen from time to time. I don't care how creative you get, how much you think outside the box, sometimes these deals just fall apart. But how you react will define who you become. I started using it as motivation to work harder and smarter to make that deal up. Don't let a problem discourage you. Yes, it's okay to be upset, but don't let it ruin your day and cost you even more deals. I'll give you an example here. So I was working on a deal where I was gonna make a $3,000 commission, and things started to go really bad at the final walkthrough. The tenant didn't wanna pay for the extra prorated days that they were gonna be living there for the month. It was like $600 worth of rent, and we were at an absolute standstill. The owner didn't wanna budge, the tenant didn't wanna budge, listing agent, nobody. Each side started threatening the other side, and the deal was about to fall apart. So what did I do? I stepped up and I offered to pay that $600 straight out of my commission check. I figured at the end of the day, $2,400 was better than zero. They all agreed to it and the deal was saved. Just because I was able to properly communicate, I put my emotions aside, and I was able to actually make this work. Did I get screwed a bit? Yeah, I absolutely did. But I came up with a solution that worked for everybody. And guess what? Since then, she's given me like 5 referrals because she was so pleased at how I handled that situation. It's all about how you perceive things. That's gonna define how successful you become. It's really true what they say. You get back what you put out. If you're always negative, then negative things will happen. If you're always positive and helping people out, then good things are gonna just fall into your lap. It's all one big chain reaction of cause and effect. If you put all 6 of these sales rules together, you are gonna become an unstoppable force of nature as a realtor. It's how I got to making $500,000 a year just 2 years into my real estate career. I knew absolutely nothing about real estate when I started, but I quickly picked a niche and mastered it. If you guys want to apply everything that I just taught you in this video, then click on the video above and you can actually use it towards my rental strategy.